Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. It looks like many of you have enjoyed the first PS Vita ports video that I have made. So as I have promised, here is the part 2 of another top 5 PS Vita ports in 2021. Please feel free to check out the first ports after you'll finish watching this one, obviously. Again, majority of the games are 20 years old, and despite the fact that I've said in first video that I want the younger audience to find some value in it, when I check the analytics, 80% of the views are in my age group. In the end, it doesn't matter as long as you are enjoying it, and on top of that, I'm not expecting all the 15 years old to stop playing Among Us and jump onto the Aliens vs Predator train. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Again, the ports are in no particular order, and on the first place I've got Julius, port by DevNoName120. It is an open source re-implementation of Caesar Free. Julius will not run without the original Caesar Free files that can be obtained from GOG, Steam or from Google. If you're not familiar with the game, it's basically a city building game from 2D isometric perspective, set in a Roman Empire that was originally released in 1998. I have loved these kind of games back in the day quite a lot. Although I couldn't stand the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, as it gave me the impression of being too silly to build some amusement parks and manage it, from the Caesar series I've got completely different impressions. If I'm being honest, I haven't spent that much time playing Caesar, as I've spent playing a very similar, I would even claim identical game called Pharaoh. It's the same thing, except it's set in ancient Egyptian times against the Roman Empire times in Caesar Free. However, the overall look and feel of the game is pretty close, from isometric perspective to the graphics and to the battling system. This game looks like it sucks, bro, why should I play it? I tell you why. By the time you figure out what the goal of the game is and what you need to do in order to achieve it, you'll be hooked already. Simple yet addictive, that's how I will describe it. You'll be looking forward for each new map to see what minerals, mines and soil are to your disposal, so you can strategically plan and build all your houses and roads, thus making the most out of the environment, so your city can flourish. But beware, where there is too much flourishment, there is always some Hannibal with ballistas coming at ya to put you back in the prehistoric times. Overall performance of the game is without any noticeable lag, the controls as usually need some getting used to. It ain't never gonna be like with the mouse and keyboard. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make in order to play the Julius on the go. If you haven't tried it yet, please go and play it on your PS Vita. Number 2. The original Postal. It is essentially a twin-stick isometric shooter created originally by Running with Scissors in 1997. It is known for its excessive violence and controversial content. I bet that's what everybody expects when they hear Postal. I remember me experiencing for the first time. It was gruesome. But not in a bad way, more in a weird mesmerizing way. I don't mean like I wanted to go berserk with the AK-47 somewhere in a rural area. I mean just listen to the audio when the game starts, it's brutal. And it draws you in, same like with the Aliens vs Predator. And the developers knew that the audio is half of the success, so they make it count. Good for them, and for us clearly. The maps / the levels where you gotta clear it all out are pretty compact, though it's not about area, but more about arsenal which you can use to subdue the area. Besides, it's gotta be compact so you can feel the pressure like there is no escape. When the grenades are flying over your head, rocket launchers swooshing in front of your face, and the Molotov cocktails bursting into flames, and you are cornered, there is no coming back, and you gotta use the infamous feature of I regret nothing. I regret nothing. This is what it's all about, and you restart the level to not get cornered this time. The game runs very nicely on the PS Vita and the controls are surprisingly not the hurdle you gotta overcome this time. For me, Postal proves to be packed full of promising features, prone to be discriminated upon just because it was sticking out like a sore thumb. If you feel you can take the pressure, definitely give it a shot on your PS Vita, or anywhere else for that matter, as the gameplay stays the same. By the way, if you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel as there is more to come. Number 3. The legendary VitaZash 3D. Warning, this port is still a work in progress, expect graphical and sound glitches, crashes and gameplay oddities. So be sure to use newest release to appreciate it to its fullest potential. VitaZash 3D is a recreation of the engine on which games like Half-Life and Counter-Strike run. For anybody who isn't familiar with Half-Life, if there exists such human beings, it is a first-person shooter game developed and published by Valve. Valve? Whatever. The game combines shooting combat, puzzles and storytelling. It was released in 1998 for Windows to critical and commercial success. Some lines from Wikipedia so you can better comprehend the Half-Life franchise. Again, to be honest, the game that I played more frequently than Half-Life was Counter-Strike. I believe I could have played around first 2 hours of the single-player campaign of the Half-Life. However, later I was drawn in the craze of LAN parties, multiplayer and Counter-Strike, and I wasn't looking back ever again. All I needed was The Dust 2, Maverick M4 Carbine with the silencer, some spare time and loads of ammo, and I felt like the biggest, the fiercest badass, until I was drawn back into reality by the cashier guy at the counter screaming at me, "Your time is over." I feel like now, when the multiplayer madness is over, I will give it a try and approach it unbiased one more time. Also, I feel like it might be worth to try it even when you've completed it, as it might have been some 20 years ago, so you'll need to refresh your memories once again. Number 4. Different game was meant to be at this spot, though I couldn't make it run, so the Jack Rabbit needs to wait for another part of the PS Vita port series, and instead its place is taken by another first-person shooter called Vita RTCW, also known as Return to the Castle Wolfenstein. I can clearly see why the Vita is home for this abundance of first-person shooter games. It was built for it, and it was meant to be the ultimate staple of this genre if only Sony wouldn't overlook it and throw obstacles in its way over and over again, just like before. So the game is powered by the Quake-free Arena engine. The Wolfenstein universe explodes with the kind of epic environments, AI, firepower and cinematic effects that only a game created by true masters can deliver. The Dark Reich's closing in. The time to act is now. Evil prevails when good men do nothing. And as we are good men, we do everything to prevent the evil to prevail. Let's get it done, grab your PS Vitas and show the Heimler who's the boss here. Let the annihilation begin. Annihilation? I'm not really sure. Let the annihilation begin, even with that unstable frame rate and old school graphics. Number 5. Naturally, I've saved the last for the best, or the best for the last, I guess. That being the spectacular Max Payne mobile port. Huge thanks to the Flow and FGS for all the hard work. All you need to perform is few steps and the game is all yours to be entertained by. Feel free to check out my last video where I've covered all the steps, link in the right corner. Max Payne is a neo-noir, third-person shooter video game developed by Remedy Entertainment. And what's the neo-noir? Well, apparently it has got nothing to do with the Neo from the Matrix series, although you definitely feel like one when you are playing the game and dodging the bullets with the help of the bullet time feature. Rather, it is described with the use of phrases such as interplay of light and shadows, unbalanced framing, blurring of the lines between good and bad and right and wrong, thematic motifs including revenge, paranoia and alienation. And now it makes perfect sense. Hell yeah, Max Payne rocks. Doesn't matter if you look at it from the graphics and atmospheric point of view, or from storytelling angle, or purely from gameplay perspective. Nothing is changing. The quality is consistent and guaranteed throughout the whole title. Doesn't matter if you wanna revenge your family murdered by drug dealers, or you simply wanna relish neo-noir atmosphere. It will deliver. You can count on that. And if you're feeling zealous like myself, you can take your bullet time skill out on the grass with some Nerf guns and compete with your mates, who's the ultimate Max Payne impersonator. Again, just please be careful when performing the bullet time skill in the real life scenario, as it tends to be quite challenging to land it carefree like Max Payne does on the hard surface, which the grass undoubtedly is. Surely the port isn't without its fair share of issues, but it's running more than decently on the console with variable frame rates and longer loading times. I'm thrilled by this Max Payne port even more than by the GTA 3 itself. Well done guys, keep the awesome ports coming and Vita will never die. Yo, what do you want? And what about your favorite port guys? Has it been done yet or you still waiting for it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, it means a lot to me and to the YouTube algorithm. Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the oncoming content. Thanks for watching guys and see you in the next one. Peace.